Hey everyone, Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab in California, and today we're going to be going over the most common mistakes that we see during the throw. I know we only have one camera here, but I'll try my best to make it so you guys can see everything perfectly fine. So first thing I would say is that front leg, and really stepping and opening up that front leg too much immediately, right? There, you can go and eventually get to a point where your foot opens up a good amount as you start to rotate and push off this back leg. You know, you can make it so you get to a point where opening that front foot is fine, but if you're just keeping this back heel kind of down and just turning like this, you're losing massive power in your hips, okay? Next big thing I'd say is when loading, doing some type of like elbow up, keeping the ball down type of thing, which then makes it so that the ball gets raised. And then, you know, even if you don't do that, I still even see people go here and still like lift the ball like this instead of going here and then getting their elbow forward and through. And when you drive your elbow forward and through, you're really trying to let your wrist fall back a little bit. So you're going here and you really want to get that elbow all the way forward, rip it all the way through, instead of making it so the ball gets so far back behind you, right? So we'll see a lot of throws like this, which just means you're really not using your elbow very much, and a lot of times they end up coming around during the actual throw. Another common thing is to get the ball on top of the wrist, right? So releasing like this, right? Anything where the ball is just underneath the wrist during the release times, right? You want to be neutral with the wrist as you're letting the ball go. Okay, so anytime you get below here, it ends up affecting the ability to throw the ball with the most amount of velocity. Another common thing is the front arm ends up going too far over the side, right? And when the front arm goes too far to the side, or the front shoulder opens up too early, you know, now that makes it so the sinking of the body's off. You want to make it so your hips are coming through first, and then from there your upper body comes through, not just allowing your upper body to just right away kind of open up immediately. So that's one of the another big common mistake that we see. And then the last one's going to just be with the front leg. And when you're transferring all your weight forward up onto the front leg, is going to be, you know, not being able to properly stabilize that. When you go through this, it's not that you aren't allowed to extend the leg, okay? But it's just that you want to get all of your weight all the way onto that front leg, so more of your weight is on the outside part of the foot, right? So what happens is that you're not able to push off the back leg effectively, right? Which even could be its own thing, where you're not turning your heel and turning your foot to make it so the heel's facing upwards. But if you're not doing that, then what happens is that you can't get all of your weight to the outside part of the foot. So now, even people that get on the outside part of the foot, they can extend their leg and still finish, right? There's people that actually do that as they're getting onto their front leg. But I see a lot of times people don't actually get all of their weight forward and are already trying to extend before their weight gets all the way onto that front foot. And that's where it's a common mistake that is an error. So you really want to be able to push off and get all the way around with those hips before you do any type of leg straightening. So if you're not getting your foot, all your weight all the way forward, now you're going to be really negatively affected by this actual extension, because now you're going to end up kind of shot putting the throw when you're throwing it. All right, so that goes into, really I wanted to make it 5 things, but it went into kind of 6 things that are common errors that you see when throwing the football. And we have a lot of other videos here with this series to help you being able to throw the ball a little bit more effectively. This one's just going to be focused on some of the errors.